Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So for now, I will give you some advices on how to take care of your teeth. So first, I will show you the structure of the tooth and the structure surrounding the tooth. And then I will show you how does a healthy dentition and gum looks like compared to the stained one. So if the stained one is left alone, what would happen? What type of disease will occur? And if you have a poor oral hygiene, what are the complications? And lastly, I will advise you on how to brush and floss your teeth correctly. So first is the tooth anatomy, or the structure of the tooth and the surrounding tooth. So the tooth, which we can see visibly like this, is the crown of the tooth. And the one beneath the gum is called the root of the tooth. And the tooth has three layers, which is the outermost part is the enamel, followed with the dentine, and then the pulp. In the pulp, there are nerves and also blood vessels. So surrounding the tooth and the gum is the cementum. Cementum followed with the periodontal ligament and then the alveolar bone. So these four structures are called periodontium. Periodontium are the supporting structure of the tooth, okay, to make sure that the tooth stays in there so that it does not move or such. Simpler diagram of the periodontium. And look at here, I highlighted this, which is the gum sulcus, okay, right here. So this gum sulcus is significant for your oral hygiene, and I will explain that later on. How does a healthy dentition and gum looks like, and how is it looks like compared to the stained? So healthy dentition and gum looks a lot like this. So there are four criteria to indicate that your gum are healthy. First is that the color should be coral pink unless you have darker skin pigmentation. So your gum will look a bit darker than that, and that is perfectly fine, okay? And then the texture of it should be firm, not soft. So firm, you can test it out like you poke your own nose like here. It is firm, not as soft as like here. There's a difference. You can try it yourself. And then after color and texture, there's also this, okay? The gum between the two teeth here should be sharp. See? It's quite sharp here. And then the gum over here should be scallop shaped, like so. Another thing that you can see here, this is not everyone have this, but those who have this are also healthy. Those who don't are also healthy. Okay? You can see this when you dry the gum a bit. Okay. So how does it look like between those and the stained one? Stained one, which is stained by the plaque, I'll explain what is plaque later, looks a lot like this. First is the color. So it is not coral pink as this one. And then you can see that it is quite swollen. See here? Like it is not quite firm looking. And then the should be scallop shaped. This one looks a bit less of that. And then the gum over here is not quite sharp as this. Okay? So what exactly is dental plaque? So dental plaque is actually soft deposits that contains bacteria, and it sticks just anywhere on your teeth. Okay? So this plaque is the main culprit for a lot of other upcoming diseases if you left your teeth untreated, or you have poor oral hygiene, or you take a lot of sugary food frequently. There's a lot of contributing factors, but I won't go that deep. Okay? So if you left your teeth with plaque for a longer time, it will be abundant, okay? Problematic later on. Okay? So this is the progress from slight to moderate to severe. So as you can see here, the plaque accumulates just below the tooth, around the gum line. See, this is where your gum sulcus plays its role, and I will later on explain on how is it significant when you brush your teeth. So if you left this plaque long enough, it will cause diseases, and the main ones are caries and also periodontal diseases such as gingivitis and periodontitis. Caries are actually caused by the bacteria on your teeth that takes on your sugar. It takes from the sugary diet, and then it deposits acid and dissolves your teeth. Okay, so the dissolving takes time, and it started with enamel, and it is called enamel caries. And then if left alone, it will be dentin caries, and then the pulp. And when it involves the pulp will be inflamed, and this is called pulpitis. And if you left it soon enough, it will be periodontitis, which is the periodontium, as I mentioned just now. The supporting tissue that holds the tooth will be inflamed, and some of it will cause abscess. With this gum sulcus is significant for the dentist to evaluate your periodontal and oral health. Okay. We have this one special instrument. It acts as a ruler, measure the sulcus depth. Okay. So if it's 1 to 3 millimeters, it is healthy. Your gum teeth are in good condition. If it is more than 3 until 5, it is mild periodontitis. See here, it cuts deeper. And then if it is more than that, until 7 millimeters, it is moderate periodontitis. And if left alone, it would be severe periodontitis, and it needs to be treated immediately. This is how a teeth looks like. The gum recedes, showing more of tooth structure. The tooth structure like this will cause plaque to accumulate faster. Here it is blunt. It is not coral pink in color. It looks swelling. It does not look firm. Okay. This is a severe periodontitis, showing a lot of tooth structure because of the gum has been going down. And this is how it looks like. Do not fret though. It is not that we are stabbing your gum. We are actually entering this instrument into a gum sulcus, so it does not bleed unless we have underlying problem that we would see. Okay, so some of the complications, if you have poor oral hygiene, like you have incorrect toothbrushing or flossing technique or such, is caries, as mentioned before, and also bleeding gum. And this bleeding gum is also a sign and symptoms for gingivitis and periodontitis. Other than that is that your tooth might be mobile, which means that it moves. And if it moves to a certain extent, it can be lost due to extraction or such. And this tooth loss doesn't end there. It will cause your tony structure to have space, and this space will be filled with the teeth around it. The teeth around will drift to that space to fill that space. Other than that is saturation or pus, like here, like as mentioned in the periodontitis, and then you will overall have a bad breath. Okay, just like you wake up in the morning. And yes, if you want to feel how your teeth is filled with plaque, it's like waking up in the morning and then just brush your teeth along the line, along your teeth. It feels really rough and not smooth as if you have brushed your teeth. And that is how plaque feels like. Okay? So now I will show you how to brush your teeth correctly. Before I show you how to brush your teeth correctly, you need to know what type of toothbrush to use. So first is that the handle and the edge is long enough for your toothbrush to reach at the back of teeth. The filaments or the bristles are soft, not rough. Make sure it is soft so that it does not injure your gum. That will cause bleeding. Okay, and then the thickness, it needs to be super slim, less than 0.01 or 0.001. It is better, and it is also to avoid any injury of your gum. Okay, so first, this is the upper teeth. I'll show you how like this. You need to angulate your toothbrush as if you are inserting the bristles into the gum sulcus. So this is the significance of the gum sulcus. Place it like this, and then just brush it vertically. Brush it off like this, not like this. This will cause bleeding of the gum and also make your teeth a lot thinner than it should. There will be more complications to that, but I won't go that big. I would recommend to start from the back here, from your right or left side, back here, and then brush it until over here, and then continue with the deep side like this. Once you're done here, do not ever forget the part of your teeth that is responsible for chewing your food. Brush it as a lot as possible, but gently, not rough, just gently. Especially the back one, the back teeth, because they did a lot of grinding compared to the front one. Appreciate them. And when you're done with that, you go for the lower one. I recommend to toothbrush from the upper jaw to the lower one because the debris where you're brushing will fall compared to doing it from the lower to the upper. Besides your teeth, you also need to brush your tongue. Okay? You can use this toothbrush to brush it off during toothbrushing, or you could use the tongue scraper. Yeah, like that. Okay. Now we go for the flossing. See, for flossing, you need to take a long floss of it, and then just roll it around here. Make sure it's secured on your index fingers. For example, here I've placed a little soft deposit between the teeth so that I can show you how it removes. Okay, so first you have to insert it like so, slowly and gently. Do not go rough and hard because your gum is very sensitive to that. It will cause bleeding if you do it hard. First, just place it like this and then slowly going up. See, we've got some here. Moving to other part of it, not at the same exact place. Okay, you go here and then on the opposite tooth. Okay, move upwards, there. See, we got some of it. Need to try again. Do this until your teeth clean. That's a lot.